Hello everyone. In this lecture, I would like to explain about spanning trees, minimum spanning trees and their applications. So at the end of this lecture, the student should be able to find out the spanning tree for a given graph. And a student should be able to find out the spanning tree using Ruskell's and Prim's algorithms. Able to know how to reduce the cost for laying networks like telephone, electrical, hydraulic, TV cable, etc. Now coming to the definition of a spanning tree, suppose you have a connected undirected graph. So here what you mean by connected and undirected graph? So a connected graph means every node is reachable from every other node. Then we can say that graph is connected. And coming to the undirected graph, edges do not have any association. That means edges do not have any direction. So then the spanning tree of a graph is connected subgraph in which there are no cycles or loops. For example, let us take this graph which consists of 4 nodes, or we call them as vertices. This is node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4. And this graph is having 6 edges: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now for this graph, we can find the spanning tree. So there may be different spanning trees for the given graph. So this is one spanning tree, this is another spanning tree, this is another, and this is a different spanning tree. So now it has to obey the properties of the spanning tree. That means it is a connected graph. That means from every node is reachable from every other node. So if you take this node and if you want to travel to this node, we can travel from this node to this and here. So and similarly, if you want to travel from this node to this node, so we can travel from this node to here and from here to here and from here to here. And if you take this spanning tree, so suppose if I want to travel from this node to this node, yes, I can travel from this node to this and this to this. Now if you want to travel from this node to this node, I can travel from this node to this node and from here to here. So this is a connected graph. This property says that this graph is connected and there should not be any cycles. So here there is no cycle and here also no cycle, or we can say a loop should not be there in a spanning tree. So there is no cycle, no cycle, no cycle. So these are all the different spanning trees for a given graph. Now the properties of spanning trees. So now let us take if there are V edges, let us take here V is the vertices, then there should be V minus 1 edges for a given graph. Now go to the previous slide, and here total there are 4 vertices. So how many edges should be there? So V minus 1 edges should be there. So 1, 2, 3. In a spanning tree, if there are V vertices, then V minus 1 edges should be there. So in this spanning tree also 1, 2, 3. And here 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That means the total number of vertices are 4. Then there should be V minus 1 edges in a spanning tree. This is property number 1. The next property is if you remove E minus V plus 1 edges, then we will get a spanning tree. The property number 2 is if we remove E minus V plus 1 edges, then we will get a spanning tree for a given graph. So we will go to the previous slide and we will see the example once again. Now here there are 6 edges, total 6 edges, and 4 vertices are there. Now the property is we have to remove E minus V plus 1. That means edges are 6 edges, 6 minus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 vertices are there. 6 minus 4, 2 plus 1, 3. So total how many? 6 minus 4 plus 1. See here, 6 minus 4 plus 1 edges should be there. So here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it obeys the property 2. And the next third property is maximally acyclic. So what you mean by maximally acyclic? That means it should not form any loop or cycle in the spanning tree. So there is no loop or cycle. This is property number 3. And next property is minimally connected. That means from every node we need to reach to another node in the spanning tree. Then we can say the graph as a connected. Next, maximum number of spanning trees for a given graph is denoted using the formula v to the power v minus 2. That means if there are v vertices in a given graph, then v raised to the power v minus 2 number of spanning trees we can form. So in the previous example, once again I am going to the previous slide. In the previous example, we have 4 vertices. So total number of spanning trees for this graph is 4 to the power 4 minus 2. That means, see here, 4 to the power 4 minus 2. So 4 square. So 4 to the power 4 minus 2, 4 square. So total will have 16 spanning trees for the given graph. Then by using the spanning trees, we can minimize the cost. Suppose if you want to supply a set of houses with some electricity or water connection or sewage lines or telephone lines, so we can use the spanning trees to minimize the cost of the above examples. To keep the cost down, you could connect these houses with spanning trees. However, the houses are not all equally distanced apart. To reduce the cost even further, you could connect to the houses with the minimum cost spanning trees. Now coming to the minimum cost spanning tree. So a spanning tree is said to be a minimum cost spanning tree is a subgraph of an undirected graph such that the subgraph includes all nodes, is connected, is acyclic and has minimum total edge weight. So if you want to say a graph as a spanning tree, it should be connected and it should be acyclic and the total edge weight should be minimum. Then only we can say that graph as a minimum cost spanning tree. Now suppose we have connected undirected graph with a weight or cost associated with each edges. The total cost of the spanning tree would be sum of the cost of its edges, which should be minimum. A minimum cost spanning tree is a spanning tree that has lowest cost. So now let us take this example which is having different vertices like A, B, C, D, E, F, and here these are the edges with the edge cost, or we call it as a edge weight. Now we can say this is a graph or we can say this is a minimum cost spanning tree for this given graph. So how to find the minimum cost spanning tree for a given graph? The minimum cost spanning trees can be found out by using two familiar algorithms. They are the Kruskals algorithm and Prim's algorithm. So both the Kruskals and Prim's algorithms are greedy algorithms. So Kruskals algorithm start with no nodes. That means we will not choose nodes as our starting point. They will start with edges. Once again, Kruskals algorithm start with no nodes. That means it won't start with a node. Whereas in case of Prim's, the Prim's algorithm will start with nodes. So the Kruskals algorithm will not start with nodes. It will start with edges in the spanning tree. And here we need to arrange the edges weight in increasing order. Here we need to consider the spanning tree to consist of edges only. Next, Prim's algorithm. It starts with any one node. That means you can choose any node as your starting point. So from that point you can travel. So you have to choose the adjacent nodes from the starting point and you have to pick the minimum cost edge from the nodes. And this is how the Prim's algorithm will work. Later we will see what is Prim's algorithm and Kruskals algorithm in the next slides. So coming to the Kruskals algorithm, it works with edges rather than nodes. So sort edges by increasing edge weight. as already said, you need to sort the edges according to the edge weights. Then you need to select the first v minus 1 edges that do not generate a cycle. So now let us take this example. So here this graph consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 vertices and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 edges. So if you take this graph, now you have to draw a table based on this graph. So here we have to take edge. So total how many edges are there? So from D to E there is an edge, from D to G there is an edge, from E to G there is an edge, and from C to D there is an edge, from G to H here there is an edge, from C to F there is an edge, from B to C there is an edge, from B to E there is an edge. So in like that we have to take all the edges here, and then dV represents the edge weight. So that means the edge weight from D vertices to E vertices. From D to E, the edge weight is 1. So you have to take, you have to note down the edge weight here. Then from D to G, it's 2. So this should be in increasing order. Now, see here, I have taken the least cost edge. So that means I have picked this edge, and then I need to pick the second edge, that is D to G, which is less cost. So from D to G I can pick, and before going to pick this edge you need to check whether there is any loop or cycle. So if I am going to pick this D to Z, there is no loop or cycle, so I can pick this edge, so I can make it as tick mark. Then the next edge is E to Z. So if I select this edge, here I will get a loop. So then it fails the spanning tree property. So we should not include this edge in our spanning tree because it is going to form a loop. So if we include this edge, then see here D to E, E to G, G to D. So there is a loop. So we should not include this edge. So remove this edge. So I have made it as a into. Then the next cost is C to D. So can I include this C to D edge? Yes, I can include it because there is no loop or cycle. There is no loop or cycle. So I can include that edge. Then the next edge I need to include is Z to H. We need to check whether we can include Z to H. So from Z to H, whether it is forming any loop or cycle? No, it is not forming any loop or cycle. So I can include Z to H. And the next edge include should be C to F. So I need to check whether I can include C to F. Yes, I can include C to F because it is not forming any loop or cycle. So include C to F. The next edge is B to C. Can I include B to C? Yes, if I include B to C, there is no loop. There is no loop. So I can include this edge also, B to C. Now can I include B to E? So here B and E. So no, I cannot include B to E. So if I include B to E, here I am going to get a loop. So E to D, D to C, C to B, B to E. So a loop is going to be get formed. So I should not include this edge. So I need to remove this edge. So I didn't include that edge. Then I need to check, can I include B to F? No, I should not include B to F because here there is a loop. B to C, C to F, F to B. There is a loop. So I shouldn't include this H, B to F. So make it as into. Then B to H. Can I include B to H? No, I cannot include B to H also because there is a loop. So B to H, H to G, Z to D, D to C, and C to B. Here you are going to get a loop. Here you are going to get a loop. So you should not include this edge also. So don't include that edge. Then can I include A to H? Yes, I can include A to H because there is no loop. So here we have open. So we can include A to H. Then can I include D to F? So here D is here, D to F. No, I can't include D to F because here we are going to get a loop. D to C, C to F, F to D. So we are going to get a loop. So we can include this H, D to F. Then A to B. So if we include this A to B, no, there will be a loop. There will be a loop. If we include this A to B, there is a loop. So we can't include A to B. Can I include A to F? So if we include A to F also, see here, if we include this one, we are going to get a loop, a cycle. So we can't include this A to F. So finally, we have to visit all the nodes in a given graph. We have to include all the nodes in a given graph. That means all the vertices has been present here and there should not be any cycle. So there is no cycle. And finally, if you sum up all these edge weights, you will get the minimum cost. This is the minimum cost for a given graph. That means let us take this vertices as the cities in a state, and you need to visit all the cities with minimum cost. That means these edges are nothing but the routes from one city to another city. So then you need to visit all the cities with minimum cost, as cities represents the vertices and edges represents the distance from one city to another city. So you need to visit from one city to another city with a minimum cost. That means all the cities has to be covered, all the cities has to be visited with minimum cost. This is an example, and we call it as traveling salesperson problem. So like this, we will use a minimum cost spanning trees. And similarly, one more real-time example is, suppose let us take this vertices as the node points in a network. That means this is router, this is another router, this is another router, router. So these are all the routers in a given network. Now you need to lay the wiring for these routers from one node. That means one vertices or one house to another house. That means it has to connect all the houses with the minimum cost. So then we will use this algorithm, that is a Pushkal's algorithm. And this is an assignment problem for you. Take this graph as an assignment and find the minimum cost spanning tree for the given graph. And the next algorithm is Prim's algorithm. So whereas Pushkal's algorithm will not work with vertices, it works with edges. Whereas Prim's algorithm is a famous greedy algorithm, it is used to find the minimum spanning tree. To apply Prim's algorithm, the given graph must be weighted, connected, and undirected. And here the Prim's algorithm will work with vertex rather than edge. The vertex connecting to edge having least weight is usually selected. Find all the edges that connect to tree to new vertices. Find the least weight edge among those edges and include it in the existing tree. If including that edge creates a cycle, then reject that edge and look for the next least weight edge. So keep repeating above steps, then we'll get the minimum spanning tree. Now let us take this graph for our workthrough. Now we have to take a table with all the vertices, and then here this k is nothing but the status, whether you have visited a node or not. If a node has been visited, we will mark here with T. T means true, we have visited the node. And here this dv represents the distance of the vertex from this node to this node. What is the distance or the cost or the weight? We call it as distance or cost or weight. And here this PV represents the previous vertex. So initially I have taken infinity. From this node to this node, I don't know what is the cost. So now we have to start with any vertex as our starting point. So I am going to choose D as my starting vertex. So when now I have chosen D, so I have marked it as a T. T means I have visited. And what is the distance from D to D? It's 0. What is the previous node of D? We didn't visit any node, so it's nothing. Then you need to find out the adjacent nodes of D. So the adjacent nodes of D are C, F, G, E. So these are the adjacent nodes. There are 4 adjacent nodes for D. One is C, F, E, Z. And then you need to update this table with the edge weights. See here, from D to C, what is the edge weight? It's 3. And what is the previous node for C? It's D. That means parent or previous node. Now, from D to E, the edge weight is 25. So, you have to take as a 25. And what is its parent or the previous node? It's D. So, it is D. Now, from D to F, it's 18. So we have to take here 18. And from D to Z, it's 2. Now, among these edge weights, which edge is minimum? We need to pick that edge. That means here G is having a minimum. That means G to D is the minimum cost edge. So we have to pick this edge in this spanning tree. So I have to choose this one. See here, D to Z. Now mark G as visited. That means I have marked G as visited. And the next step is, this is very important step. The next step is you need to update this distance table or edge weight table. Now what is meant by updating the edge weight or distance table? So here from Z to E, if you observe Z to E, it's cost 7 from Z to E, but already E is having 25, so we need to update this with this value Z to E, because we are at Z. From Z we can reach E. Instead of going from D to E, I will go from D to Z and then from G to E. So I need to update this distance table. So, and then from Z to H is 3. So here I have to mark 3. So because these two are the adjacent nodes for G, so I will update these two values. So from Z to E it's 7 and from G to H it's 3. So I have updated these values. Now from this table you have to pick the least cost edge. So from C to D it's cost 3 and from G to H also it costs 3. So we can pick either C to D or H to G. So I am going to pick this edge from C to D. So I have chosen C to D and I have marked C as a listed. Now again you need to update the table. So now see here, from C to F its cost 3. Previously F distance is 18. That means if you travel from D to F it costs 18. Instead of going directly from D to F, if I go from D to C and C to F, its cost 3 plus 3 6. So I need to update this value, that is C to F cost 3 and C to B is cost 4. So here I have to mark 4 and C is the parent. And these 3 are the adjacent nodes for C. So I will update this table. So see here 4 and here it's 3. I have updated. Now we have an edge here, that is H to G, which is minimum cost. So we will pick this H to G because it's 3. So there is one more edge, F to C. So we can pick F to C also. or h to z. So f to c is cos 3. So I have taken f to c. Then after taking f to c, I have updated this one. So then I will get see here these values. So from f we have an h to b and h to d and h to a, and see here this is an h from f to e. This is an h from f to e. Now I have updated this table. So from f to C, already we have listed, we have taken this H. So from F to B, it's 7. So it is already listed, so need not update it. So from F to D, because already we have listed this one, need not update. From F to A, it's 10. So take the value 10 here, and from F to E, it's 2. Update this one. Now, among these edges, which one is minimum? This F2E is minimum. So we need to choose this edge and we have to check whether it's forming any loop. No, it's not forming any cycle or loop. So we can pick this edge from F2E. So I have marked E as listed. Now again, you need to update this table because now E is our parent. So from E, there is an edge from E to B and E to T because it's already listed, and E to Z it is also listed. So now we need to update this value E to B. So already B is having 4, so no need to update because it's already having least cost. Now so next least cost in this table is H to G, which we have to pick. So I have picked H to Z. Now if there is any updation, check. So H to B, B is already having 4, least cost, no need to update. H to A is 4. So previously if you visit from F to A, its cost around 10. Instead of visiting from F to A, it's H to A, its cost only 10. So we need to update this value with 4 and H is a parent. Now among these, which one is the least and which is unvisited? A, B. So we can pick A. So whether it's forming any loop or cycle, and it's not forming any loop or cycle. So I can travel A. So mark A as listed. Now update once again. So A to B is cost 8. Already B's value is 4. No need to update. So then I need to visit this one B to C. So now you need to check whether we have found any loop or cycle. No, there is no loop or cycle. So, and if you find the minimum cost of this graph is 21. So Prim's algorithm will work with the vertices rather than edges, whereas Kruskal's algorithm will work with the edges. Now, assignment problem for you. Find the minimum cost spanning tree for a given graph. Now it's a quiz time. Which of the following is true? Prim's algorithm initializes with a vertex. Prim's algorithm initializes with an edge. Prim's algorithm initializes with vertex which has smallest edge. Prim's algorithm initializes with a forest. So pick the correct option. Which of the following is true? Kruskal's algorithm initializes with vertex. Kruskal's algorithm initializes with an edge. Kruskal's algorithm initializes with a vertex which has the smallest edge. Kruskal's algorithm initializes with a forest. Pick the correct option. Then Prim's algorithm is a divide and conquer algorithm, or greedy algorithm, or dynamic programming, or approximation algorithm. Thank you.